Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Lobotomy Corporation. In the last episode, we got through day 35. We fought our very first Green Dusk. What a fun battle that was. That was not what I was expecting, but we didn't lose anybody to it. We've picked up a new WoW, and I know I asked you guys if you wouldn't mind if I kept retrying that day 35 and day 36, until we gained an Alf. I am currently recording this part, our first attempt at day 36, still keeping whatever that strange mushroom nightmare WoW creature is that we picked up. I figured that you guys probably are going to tell me, because I have the best viewers ever, to do whatever it is I'm comfortable with, that you wouldn't mind, as long as it doesn't become a lot of work for me. I am so incredibly happy to have such incredible viewers for my videos. Thank you guys. I'm gonna assume that was what you guys had said. If you didn't, that's also great, because I'll have some direction. And if that's the case, then, well, this video will never be seen by anybody. Because I will make sure to obey whatever rules you guys desire. Because a YouTube video is both a contract for me and you, viewer, in addition to me playing the game. And I want to make sure we all have fun when I get these videos uploaded to YouTube. So in any case, I currently am keeping it, and we're going to go forward. And if maybe we can get super lucky and get 2 more Alfs 2 days in a row, oh man, certainly hope we do. But if we don't, I've got a plan for that anyway. We can at least do Tipper score suppression. So I'm babbling a whole lot. Let's go ahead and get into the day, the deployment screen, and we will summarize anything I think that needs summarization, and then we'll look at our tunes. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you know, but it shouldn't have been. I should have seen that at the last episode and seen where the records team was located. For some reason, I thought the records team would be in the center, but I'm guessing we can only get down to the records team through the welfare team's department. You know, I don't know why I just didn't think that was the way it worked, but I totally didn't. Alright everyone, so let's do a summary. So, nothing really outlandish happened yesterday. The Green Noon was incredible. I really liked that encounter. It looks like 4 factories showed up. My guess is it's probably 1 for every 2 departments that you have. Well, actually, it can't be 2 departments. We had 4, we only had 7 departments. Rounded up, I guess, then. And these factories, if you don't destroy them within, 3 minutes, I think, something like that, then they release. It looks like it's random what they release, but it's going to choose between dusks and dawns. That's right, not dusks or dawns. It's going to do noons or dawn green robots get spawned from them. And if you don't kill the factory after it spawns them, after another 5-6 minutes, it spawns them again. So you need to get to them and destroy them. I really liked it. What a fun thing to do. We actually did really well because we had our two powerful groups ready to go, and we sent them after them. They all spawned down in the lowest sections, though, down here. And I'm curious if they always spawn down in the mid-level or lower, as opposed to anyone spawning in the upper level. It's something I've noticed, by the way, with the Violet Noon, is that it seems to only spawn in the upper layers, and we get 1 in the central command team. I don't think I've ever seen 1 in the disciplinary or welfare departments. I still prepare for them as if they will do that, but, well, I haven't seen them do it yet, but I'm still going to prep for that anyway. In any case, I don't think we gained a whole lot of new gifts yesterday. Oh, but we did gain Dia the matchstick, and Heisel gained his mask. So, congratulations, Heisel. You are now the leader of the safety team. Oh, and Alexander, you requested that your character work with the fry chutes in order to get the pipe. You also mentioned that Chris Patai should probably get the pipe instead of using the bubblegum. He's the only one with the bubblegum, which is why I have him keeping it at this moment. It's a unique look for him. But yes, his rifle would do 5 more damage if he had the pipe. But Chris would also take 5 more hit points loss for that pipe and 5 sanity loss. But still, we will see about doing it. I think I have quite a few people lined up to work with their fly shoots today, because I want to start leveling my people who are very close to maxing out their justice stat, like a 96 or 94 score. Yeah, like Windwater's got 95, he needs a little bit of it. Francis Kato needs a little bit of it. Alexander, you could benefit from it. Panji needs a little bit of it, and so on. So a lot of Tyrus needs some of it. So I have people lined up to take turns with their fry shoots in order to try to get that justice stat leveled. So we'll probably see maybe 1 or 2 people get pipes today. But thank you, by the way, for telling me what you want your character to do. I will attempt to have your character do exactly that. The same thing goes for any of you other viewers. If you wanted your character to do something specifically, tell me and I will do it. Like when Adorkable was hinting that, please, Tim, I would really like to get the gift from the Snow Queen. Please get the gift from the Snow Queen. In a indirect fashion, we made sure that Adorkable's character did indeed do that, and I was super glad to have that done. Alright, so on the objectives for today, we want to understand everything about this abnormality before we end the day. Oh, and I like I like this. I like seeing that the suit is available at level 3 and the weapon is available at level 4. This is promising because it tells me that we might be able to get multiple suits. I am hoping whatever this is, its equipment works like Yin's, or like Dreaming Current, or even Black Swan, because we have multiple weapons and multiple sets of armor with them, 2 for each, I think. Whereas for Knight of Despair and the King of Greed and Clouded Monk, it's a little rougher with only 1 weapon for these 2 and 1 suit of armor only. They're great suits of armor, but I need more. Because I need to begin outfitting my other people with something besides Teth gear. So anyway, that's the plan for today, is we try to understand everything about it, and if I guessed correctly, and it's going to be insight work is my guess as to how we start with it. And if it's not insight, I'm guessing, God. Attachment? Do we have a WoW that works well with repression? We don't have a repression WoW yet, so I'm going to guess it's insight or repression for this WoW. Yep, that's what I'm going with. We'll start with insight, and we'll see how correct or wrong I am. And then we can unlock the Magio guidelines first, because if it looks like I'm correct, I really want to understand how it escapes first. So we don't have that happen to us. Anything else? No, I think that's about it. So, well, I will be attempting to get to another Dusk event. I need practice against the Dusks. We haven't seen a Violet Dusk, a Indigo Dusk, or an Amber Dusk yet, and I want to see what those are like. So we will, if we see one of those, we will absolutely do it. If we don't see one of them, if it's the Green Dusk or the Red Dusk, we'll probably still do them so we can get some more practice in, but I may I may stop the day early in order to see if we can, what is our next in the containment units a little faster. We will see. That's my way of saying, if it's a Red Dusk, we know how to handle a Red Dusk now, so we don't need to fight it. Anything else? And I need to remember to give more people the ice gift. Do I not have it? I don't. Okay. So 2 more people today are going to get it. Oh, crap. Lennon Soul Hacker, didn't I send you? She has Inspired Bravery, which that's interesting. The first rank of the Crumbling Armor's buff doesn't penalize you. I mean, she still can't do any temperance work, but I don't think I want her to do any more Crumbling Armor work or any more repression work. so she keeps the plus 10s and never has any penalty to her hit points. I'll have to remember that. I was just about to say that I was going to have to assign her to the safety team now that she did some work with Coming Armor yesterday. But, no, I don't think we do that. Alright, anything else? Oh, there is one more thing. We should read about all the abnormalities that we have picked up so far. And so, if this video is less than an hour when we arrive, or if it's less than an hour and a half when we arrive back here to the deployment screen after we're done with the day, I will go ahead and read one of our team's abnormalities. If it's more than that, we'll skip it. We'll wait till the future. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at all of our people now and see if they gained any gifts that I didn't see them gain yesterday. And Combo Breaker, it just occurs to me I probably should pull you up here to the control team now. You're one of the only people who are using a decent level white range weapon for us at this moment. Yeah, with a Shork. What are you working with today? You are Knight of Despair. So you're doing attachment work. I think... Are you the leader of this? Plus 10 Temperance would be helpful. I guess we can keep you there, Combo Breaker. I will want someone else in the control team. I don't like having only 2 people in a team. I prefer there being 3. We saw at the end of one of the attempts to manage censored early on that all of the abnormalities in the disciplinary team, I think, suffered a minus 50% to their success rate. That was because everyone in that department was killed. And so we want there being more people in these departments so that we don't risk that happening in case things go horrifically wrong. Though I'll be honest, we'll just retry the day if things go horrifically wrong. I can only really see us trying to advance the plot during a core suppression or during one of the quests if things go really, really badly for us. Alright, Dia, again, gained the matchstick. Hysul gained the mask. David C., what are you doing over here? Oh, third person in training team. I would like to get more coffins on people, but it's difficult to work with funeral of dead body. Well, it's not actually difficult. We can put him back in this coffin easily enough. As you can see, Lewis Scarf is the one who's going to censor today. He's got 4 and 3 stats, so 2 of them will be what he improves upon. Need to find a leader for the Central Command team. I think all of you have been here for the same length of time so far. I mean, someone has to go up there and get a mask. Or, like I say, Home's going to be the person. Tiras, you don't have any gifts yet. We need to give you the Ice Queen's gift. Oh, Helmet Hair could also use that, unless I want him to get the teardrop. I'll need to make up my mind. I'd like to say it looks so cool with that blue armor and the ice on his cheek. Alright, yeah, I didn't see any new gifts on Bruno or Adorkable. You know, we could have... Okay, no, who's working with it? Who Doodle C is today. Alright, never mind. Trimus has no gifts yet. What? Oh, I've outfitted him to give him the best type of insight reduction. Is he actually working with the new abnormality? I think he might be. Yep. My intention is to have him and Jason work with it. We'll start with Trimus and see what happens to him. Alright, that's our tunes, everyone. So, I'm going to now quit the game, relaunch it so I have as much time as possible before the game gets a little choppy, and I will watch it with you guys. So give me a few seconds. Alright guys, hello! I am back. I am watching this with you guys. it's time to start day 36. My objective this day is to figure out everything there is to know about the new WoW abnormality that we picked up. We have had it in the past, and I believe Eldsloft WS mentioned that the gear you can get from it is decent. And so I am also hoping that the gear for it works a bit, is of the quantities more associated with Yin and Dreaming Current, which is to say it's not that strong, but, like, and it has a weakness, but we get multiples of it. So I can begin giving some more of my level 5 employees WoW gear. It's also why I decided to keep this, and we're going to try to see if we get an Alph the next day, because at least we'll have more WoW gear to help us with Alphs if we pick up any in the following days. I'm going to assign quite a few people down to manage it, because if it gets out, I want to be able to fight it, or at least, once again, just like Censored, try to see what it's capable of if it escapes. It's a giant mushroom, so maybe it doesn't escape, maybe it doesn't walk around, but that would be really weird. The WoWs we have, well, with the exception of Dreams of the Black Swan, they get out, but we know Dreams of the Black Swan does something. It has to, when its Qlipoth counter reaches 0. It makes no mention of what's going to happen when it reaches 0, but something absolutely horrible has to happen. It has to, when Dreams of the Black Swan reaches 0. So I'm hoping we never have to see it. But if we do have a fail cascade, and it looks like we're able to release it, we will make an attempt to do that. So what can we talk about while we're watching this? So I guess I can start reading some of the comments I got from you guys on the previous video. Let's start with that. So on part 40, that's right, that's when I first encountered the Green Dusk. What a fun fight that was. I was not prepared for assembly line factories constructing additional green robots that I had to deal with that day. That was fun. I very much liked it. In any case, Destruction42K says, "You're doing great, Tim." Thank you, sir. Feel free to reset back to get Alphs. Don't forget you're able, once you finish successfully, you can just hit reset day if you want and go back. Well, I can't do that, Destruction, if I want to get to the abnormality selection screen. This is why I was talking about restoring the backup game files, because we advanced to day 36, it's a memory repository day as well. And so there's no way at that point that I can go back to day 35. We're stuck at day 36 normally, unless I reset back to day 1. So that's why I mentioned restoring the game files that I back up occasionally. This way I could just retry day 35 over and over again. But since we did get a WoW abnormality, since we're hoping it has good gear and multiples of it, whatever weapon and armor it possesses, we're going to see, we're just going to discover what it's got, and if it looks like it's useful, we'll keep it. And we'll just have to hope for 2 Alphs in the following 2 days. At the very least 1 Alph, and then maybe we can get the last one we need on days 41, 42, and 43, and we'll just reset constantly back to day 41 and do all the core suppressions in the entire department as quick as we can at that point. Again, the reason is because I'm probably going to be restoring the memory repository after we suppress the WoWs. I'll be very Alphs. I'll be very surprised if we don't lose anyone during those days. And the core suppressions will absolutely probably be losing people. I can't imagine that they're going to be easier than the upper level ones were. And so I want to keep the 2 Alphs so we can complete Gabora's quest, but I also want to be able to reset back to a memory repository day. So we really are depending upon 2 more Alphs next 2 days to decide what it is we're going to do. And even then, again, if we get 1 Alph, I'm going to have to make a decision if we're keeping it or if we're going to do a core suppression anyway. With like Tipper's core suppression, just get that done and reset back to this day again, day 36. The Destruction42K says, by the way, there are 75 abnormalities in the game overall, just for your information. Wow. And I can't, off the top of my head, we get 30 in our department? 33. in our department for non-tool abnormalities, because there's 10 departments, and each one has 3 containment cells, with the exception of the central command team. P.S. If you keep calling in the rabbit team, you get unique cutscenes at the end of the day, where you get to meet their captain, Mayo. Oh, nice! These cutscenes and acquiring the rabbit team are both canon. I would hope so. So, I guess I should be trying to use the rabbit team more often then. I completely don't even recognize the buttons there. It says, I see it here with you guys. It's a giant red button. The right to my execution bullets. It's got that giant rabbit mask on it, and I don't even notice it. Nope, I'm not even seeing it when I'm playing the game, because I didn't start with it. I have been getting much better at using bullets to help me with the battles. Much, much better than I was like 10 videos ago. But the rabbit team, man, you're probably never going to see me hit it. Destruction 42K then says, also the extraction architecture team gives you a reroll on getting abnormalities 1 per day. Okay, so we want to do that. And it's time for me to figure out what this abnormality does. So Trimus, in you go. I am hoping that it does white damage or black damage because of the armor I gave you. Oh, someone worked perfectly with Redouble of the Slay, and I know they only had a 76% chance to for a positive result. That was fantastic. We need someone to also go over there and work with Censored, because once again, we want those PE boxes. I'm nervous about this new abnormality, though. I want to go and watch what happens while we're in the containment unit with it. I'm looking for the person I sent over there for Censored. Oh, and I'm also going to take advantage of the fact we have 16 bullets at this moment. We might as well start killing Central Command Team. That's so awful to say, but it's true. We might as well start killing people. All these clerks. Alright, Trimus is in there. Let's see if I guessed correctly and Insight was what we wanted to use. The fox said, was essential is invisible to the eye. It looks like it's a 50-50% chance with Insight. That may be, so maybe Insight isn't the best thing to use with it, but it'll be acceptable. It wasn't a 0%. So I'm probably going to stick with Insight, and we're going to unlock the managerial guidelines to it first. Oopsie. I just realized that your armor takes extra white damage, so I'm going to send you someplace else instead. Chatiscato needs 4 hit points. JZ, we want some more justice with you. Trimus is taking as well black damage. I think I'll notice it the next tick. Okay, yep. Losing life and sanity while he's in there. Ooh, maybe it's not 50%. He's failing several of these in a row. I think he'll survive, but I am getting a little nervous that we'll lose him. It's Teth armor he's wearing, and it's just flat damage from black sources. This is a WoW, so he's taking an extra 40% from it. Oh, Eldsloft, you have the reflection on you today, so we have to be careful with you. Trimus Dowd remembers a piece of a star. Does it come from another world? Alright, Trimus survived. Looks like he got almost exactly 50% of the PE boxes from it. We'll go back and check to see if it actually escapes as well, I think. Lewis is working with Censored, as you can see. He's got level 4 Prudence, level 4 Fortitude, so he'll have a decent chance to work with it. I should really be down there seeing if this thing escapes. It did not. Okay, so at the very least, a normal work result doesn't guarantee lowering of its Quillcloth counter. The Quillcloth counter decreased after 3 non-insight works were performed in a row. So that tells me that we can do non-insight work with it, and it is probably a good chance. Employees who worked with 00466 had a chance of being infected by its spores. Set them to work with other abnormalities regularly to counteract employee complete infection. Okay, well, where are you, Trimus? Where'd I put you? So, Trimus, I originally was going to have you work with it all day. That is no longer the case. We're going to put you... Yep, we're going to work with Woodsman next. My plan will be to alternate working with it and then not working with it. I'm wondering if we get some notification that someone's infected. When the work result was bad, the Kupilov counter lowered. 100% chance. So it has a Kupilov counter, which means it's going to escape or do something when that reaches 0. I might decide... I'm going to be surprised if I actually do this, and I really shouldn't. Because if we have the alarm go off, it could affect this box, in which case we keep a negative 8% on this creature. Yeah, I should do work with something that isn't a WoW in order to advance the timer and have all those overloads reset. And we're working with Censored as well, Tim. It would be really, really bad for you to do work with any abnormality at this moment. Really? Why am I doing that? Oh, come on, Tim. Don't send him in there. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Stop. What are you doing? You're still working with Censored. Oh, I don't agree with this at all. Right. Okay, yep. Wait till your work with Censored is done. Yes, wait till your work with Censored is done. Because if it overloads, then you have to send someone in there, and it has a negative 6 to your chances of working with it successfully. There's no reason to do any work with other abnormalities until Lewis Scarf is out of Censored's containment unit. Right, so back to you Destruction 42K. We will want to, at the very least, complete like 1 or 2 quests for the extraction team. You also say there are four instances in game where pausing is disabled. The abnormalities that do this have abnormal methods of acquisition. Okay, I guess that means that it's not something we normally pick. Something else occurs to have these abnormalities prevent me from pausing. That's going to be what slaughters me. If we have anything that stops me from pausing the game, we'll still make an attempt or 2 at it, but I have a hunch it's just not going to be doable for me. In which case, we'll just fail whatever those are. If that requires a core suppression to be done... Like, if someone disables pause, I can tell you we're not going to be able to get through that day. It ain't happening. That's all there is to it. I need to be able to pause the game. Or I need to cheat and mod the game files so that I can pause the game. Or give everyone like 1,000,000 hit points to a 1,000,000 damage so I don't care if I can't pause the game. Someone's got to walk in there too, Tim. Come on, you might as well get some more work done with the Snow Queen. We don't need the PE boxes, but it's good to improve their prudence stat. Oh, but it's more important that Strathus Kato's hit points go up. Okay, that's fine. JZ, you do some more work with the Freischutz. I think, Alexander, I had not yet seen your request to work with the Freischutz, so we're not sending you there today, I think. We don't need everyone hanging out for Scarecrow. I'm not even sure I'm sending anyone in today to work with Scarecrow. In fact, I probably looked over at my chart and saw no one's supposed to work with it today, which is why everyone's moving someplace else. But I really should keep someone there, because if that goes on Meltdown, we'll want to send someone in there, even if it gets out, because it's getting out anyway. So we might as well benefit from the high-level prudence work and gain more PE boxes with them. David C., we gave you the research notes. It doesn't matter which ones we do. I always look over at repression for the King of Greed because I know we have a chance to succeed decently well with it. But then I also realize that if we do hit this 66% result total, she's getting out. And I just don't feel like dealing with her so early. I also see that we have a Red Dawn coming up. So hopefully I deal with that correctly. Lastly, Destruction 42K, you say, I'm more than happy with you resetting as much as you need to get now. Best of luck with Gabora Suppression. Thank you, Destruction 42K. Several people have told me good luck with Gabora Suppression. I take it Gabora's is the toughest here at the mid-level. So I'm interested into what trick she has. Again, no spoilers, but I really liked all of the upper level core suppressions. So I am very curious as to what hers is going to be, because she hates abnormalities. So I'm wondering if she, like, releases a random abnormality every meltdown level, and you have to suppress it in addition to dealing with whatever else affects her. Whatever else affects she applies to all the employees in her department. Or, I'm sorry, the entire corporation, right? Because that's what happens. We have some tricky effect for all the... from that core suppression, and then some I don't know the way to describe it. I guess trick is the only word I can think of to describe this too. There's some trick applied to us playing the game to prevent us from doing things successfully, rather than just some special. Well, actually, no, because HOD was lowering our stats, messing with our agents. I don't know. I'm babbling, and I can't think of how to finish the sentence. So let's just move on, rather than Tim tries to blunder through it. And OODA Loop, see, looks like things are going okay for you down there. Clouded Monk was a success. We're almost at 999 PE boxes for it. Ellsloft, you're taking damage. I'm watching you to make sure we can keep you alive. Alexander, on the last episode, said, "Hey, Tim. Go wild with the reloads, since you're not going to restart from day 1 and will be lacking in equipment pretty badly. I restarted from day 1 5 or 6 times and got pretty much all WoW and Alpha equipment, and still got my ass kicked on the final days." Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So that's been my biggest concern, and why I'm desperate to get Alpha so we can complete Gabor's mission, because at least buying, like, a second set, one more for all our WoW gear will give me, I think, a chance to beat those final days. And if I can't get that third Alpha, then we don't get that equipment. But that also means that we don't ever do Gabor's core suppression, which means I don't think we get to finish any of the what level? Basaya level? Mid-level Sephiroth core suppressions don't get done. So I think that means, from what I've read, actually from what you are saying, we won't be able to do day 48. It's just not available. Alexander, you say, as far as I know, final days unlocked per fully suppressed layer. So for day 46 and 47, it will be Asaya layer. Day 48 equals Brea layer. Day 49 equals Atziluth layer. You can find abnormality chance. Okay. You can find abnormality chance chart on the wiki in the comments on the abnormalities page. Thank you. Okay. Then I will go and take a look at that to see what my odds are of getting an Alpha. Oh, and we got Victor, who constantly worked with this abnormality, showed signs of acute pain in the containment unit. After that, tissues similar to this emerged from their body, and Victor began to transform into a new monster. This creature attracted an employee to his containment unit when its Kupaloth counter hit 0. When the Lord employee entered the containment unit, the same phenomenon occurred, as described above. When suppressing a monster who is transformed, please pay attention to the spores that are released from its body upon death. The spores will cause sustained mental damage, and employees who panic from the spores may attempt to enter the mushroom's containment unit. So it sounds like this thing doesn't get out, but someone gets possessed and will run towards the containment unit. And if they get inside of it, they'll become a monster. And on that note, if it's Kupaloth, it sounds as well like if someone's in the containment unit and its Kupaloth counter hits 0, that they're going to be turned into a monster as well. We don't have anything that turns people into monsters here, so this is the first time I'll see... Well, I'm sorry, it's not the first time we see a possession effect. This happens whenever we work with the open can of well cheers. The person's name becomes pink. I can't do anything to him, and he walks up and drinks that can, no matter what I want him to do. He will do that. It's also why you see me not assigning anyone to well cheers regularly, because all my high-level people have a decreased chance to successfully work with it. And if we get, I'm pretty sure if we get lower than 50%, something horrible happens with the can of well cheers. Let's kill more people, because we have all these execution bullets and nothing to spend them on. Getting ready for the next dawn. Alexander then says, for the chances for this point onwards, every day will have at least 20% chance for an ALF. Or to be more precise, every box will have a 20% chance, with the exception of day 38 with a 50% chance. So you can get 2 ALFs pretty easily. Okay, so then we're really hoping we get one going into the next day. And if we do, then the odds of us getting another ALF from 37 to 38 is extraordinarily high, all things considered. Basically, we should get an ALF that day. Great suppression of green dust considering using Chris, as he can solo one factory while your groups deal with others. Yeah, I didn't realize what was going on until the first box released all the abnormalities. And... the ordeals. And when that occurred, I realized, oh, okay, I see how this works. But I was panicking because I wanted to get all those big battle groups to kill the things, rather than get Chris to do so. I also was surprised at how much damage Chris does to the green abnormalities. I wasn't expecting him to do so much damage with his rifle, but he was doing like 50 points of damage to the green noons, the robots with the buzzsaws and the cannons. And that was taken off like a 5th or 4th of their life. Here we go, clown time. Clown time, get him. Holy crap, Tillman! You can't hit him from behind. That's not the way it works with that weapon. You need to move up right up next to them. Dia's right there, Tim. You should have sent Dia to kill that clown. Oh, we have 2 with Dreaming Current. We need someone else up there to handle that. We do not want Dreaming Current escaping. You guys will totally slaughter that one. I'm not worried about it in the slightest. Not worried about you, just on 42k. Dia's right there, Tim. Dia's right on the left. She's right on the left, for crying out loud. Oh my god. Did you really not see her? And I think this might be the first time that I noticed that this weapon actually attacks twice. That's pretty amazing. I'm sorry, but you're gonna die anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and assassinate you. Oh, come on, Tim. You should at least wait till the red dawn's gone before you send Alexander into a room. Yes, Dia was around. Oh, the clerks killed that one. Oh, we failed to kill it. And we lost 300 PE boxes from Spider Bud. Yes, yep. Mr. Stoulton's, even though that's a Clouded Monk, that's a WoW red damage-dealing weapon, it does not do significant damage to the clowns. Yeah, the Clouded Monk's, his weapon is actually really bad. I think it's one of the weapons, actually, that doesn't benefit from increased justice stats. I was tempted to install a mod to fix it. I've seen one on the Nexus site, which addresses some of the weapons, or I think all of them, that would normally not benefit from increased justice. So I've been tempted to install it to see if it fixes that issue. Halfway to the end of the day. Remember that I want to get to a dusk. I would like to get more practice against the dusks. We still need to see a violet dusk, a blue dusk, and an amber dusk. It's been red and green so far that we have faced. So back to you, Alexander. Great suppression of green dusk. Oh, I read that. Wings are the corporations, and each wing rule their own district. Each district has a nest where corporation and its workers resides. So like some sort of corporation apartment complex. Nests are surrounded by backstreets, where most of the people live. So the backstreets are basically everywhere. Everywhere that's not a nest, okay? But that makes it sound like each wing has their own backstreets they have to worry about, as it were. And worry about, under their care? Is that the proper... They probably don't care about the people in their backstreets as much as they care about the people in their nests. And they probably care less about the people in their nests than they care about the people who are actually in their department working at the time. Every district has their own rules and taboos, and rules imposed by the head. Head does only cares for its own rules, giving no crap about districts and their rules. Okay, so there's some sort of group that oversees everything and make sure that all of these different wings are doing what they're supposed to do according to their rules and regulations. The city resembles a mix between Warhammer's Hive City and Mega City from Judge Dredd, so it's quite huge, with the population being somewhere around 6 billion people. Okay, so yeah, so that makes it so there was a role-playing game that I never played, but I have a book for it called Rifts. And humanity is like confined to a few, at least over in America, humanity is confined to these huge, gigantic mega cities that hold millions of people in them. And it's absolute squalor on the lowest level of these cities. But as you go up in the city rank, it becomes safer for you. More protection, less chance of things going wrong, you being mugged in the street, and so on and so forth. It sounds like this is the case with this world as well. And it's also done, I think I mentioned before that it sounds very similar to the Hive cities from Warhammer 40k. Chris Alexander then says, if you have any questions about the city, then please ask away. I'll gladly answer them, and please let me know where you want them answered. So, I guess I don't really have any questions about them at this moment, Alexander. I've heard that I can probably watch Library of Ruina and discover how this world works and what it looks like. Again, I originally thought this was just some sort of secret organization in our world, but now I'm understanding that this is not the case at all. This is an entirely separate universe from us, or it's supposed to take place many years in the future. 45% chance to work with this with insight. 55% with repression. I wasn't expecting that. 40% with instinct. Okay, so this is a repression abnormality. But we have to keep track of how many times I work with it for non-insight, or its Kuplov counter instantly lowers to 0. Alexander then finishes with, don't forget to expand both departments at the same time and focus more on Hakma, since you will hit a wall with Bina's missions at some point. Good luck. Alright, thank you, Alexander. So yeah, so I'm going to stick with the plan, which is... stick with the theme that I've had, which is level both... When I get a choice of departments to expand, I pick one then the other. That's been what I've been doing since the upper layer. Just because I thought it would make sense thematically for me to handle 2 departments at the same time and not get that free 5th day and wrap up one department before opening up the other. I wanted to open up both of them at roughly the same time. And so, yeah, that was going to be my plan for the lowest level ones as well. We started with Hakma. We'll go to Bina next, and Hakma, then Bina, then Hakma, and so on. We'll flip-flop between them. Adorkable has a new log written for yesterday. Things are getting harder, and days are getting longer. The manager has gotten a bit more confident, so he's accepting more dangerous abnormalities recently. They say that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer, but I don't foresee any problems while my team is around. Alright, where is it? Where is that probably singular red dune? I'm expecting there to be 2 now because we have finished the entire middle layer, but I'm pretty sure there's still just 1 red noon. I feel so bad for the red noon. It's so easy to contain this thing. That's okay, to beat this thing down and then deal with the little clowns that show up afterwards. As long as we keep people in their containment units. And now I'm nervous about the clowns, especially because I don't want to lose 300 PE boxes on something. There it is. This team's not wearing red gear, red armor, but we can probably shield them and they'll be okay. I'm also super nervous that I will accidentally hit an execution button and kill a bunch of my agents all at once. because I'm so used to clicking the execution button as the default weapon that I use. Bullet that I use. I don't know if Dia needs to come up here, Tim. It's probably too far away for her to reach. It's already at 1/10 of its life. Sorry, we already lowered it 1/10 of its life. I'm thinking maybe I want Trimus to gain that Crown of Thorns. So we'll send him in to work with there. Windwater, you need a little more hit points. I'm also trying to get you to have a fairy stone. So we'll see if we can get that. We need all the PE boxes back for Spider Bud. So we're going to be sending people in to work with that for the next few days. Everyone else, Tim, should just hang out. Just keep everyone where they are. Why are you doing this? Keep everyone where they are. Wait till you handle the ordeal, and then move people around. I'm waiting for the shield to drop. Good work, guys. Someone needs to go down to guard Dreaming Current. Someone needs to guard Scorched Girl. We might need to pull someone to guard Forsaken Murderer. Oh? Okay, that's maybe fine as long as the clown doesn't show up down there and Chris kills people, Tim. I assume I just assigned Chris to go downstairs. I did. But didn't I assign myself to go down there too? That's a great way to get yourself killed, Tim. If the clown shows up there, you're gonna kill yourself. Why are you doing this? Oh, crap, we have 2 clowns showing up to release Forsaken Murderer. Yep, and guess what? You put people to work in their containment units over there for some reason, Tim. So you don't have more reinforcements. It's gonna have to be Dia who handles all that by himself. No one's guarding. Apparently Scarecrow. I'm apparently going to work with Censored, despite the fact I have clowns running around. That's a smart idea. No, it's not. Come on, Tim. Why am I playing so sloppily today? What the heck happened? Alright, Tillman can at least kill that single clown. I did have Tillman going to Scarecrow. Okay, so we don't need anyone there. Yep, you better hurry up and get over there, Tim. She's the only one who's going to kill these. That's not a lot of damage, but she will kill it. Oh. I guess the umbrella must do AoE damage, because there were 2 clowns there, to my knowledge. And Tillman then slaughtered his clown rather quickly. Alright, all that complained about how I was messing up, I still did really well. And this is when I think I realized that I signed Panji here. And Chris is standing in that hallway. That could have been a gigantic mistake. Could have slaughtered her by accident. It's repression work you're doing, Tim, with this at the moment. Good job, Tiras. Let's have you get healed. We'll spend these PE boxes, and attachment work is also 55, so a decent chance, as long as your stats are level 4 or higher, to work with this abnormality. Now that was our first non-insight work with it, I think. Oh! I did okay, so I did see your request that we work with the fly shoots with you, Alexander. So we're going to start doing that 2 or 3 times a day to see if we can get you the pipe. Alright, let's go back to Adorable. We are well-trained and prepared to tackle any situation that might arise. Though after today, I think I might put in a requisition for a really big wrench. Disassembling a killer robot factory is not what I was expecting to do today. Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting anyone to do today either. The managers should really open up a janitorial department for things like that. They could also help clean up some of the blood, guts, chunks, goblets, vomit, and bone fragments that build up throughout the day. Yeah, we need like a viscera cleanup crew. I've heard that's a game that exists actually. Cleaning up after monsters have escaped from a facility or some sort. I don't know anything about it, but I've seen it on Steam. It's hard enough to fight an eldritch horror when I'm not wading through the remains of a dozen of stupid clerks. I've ruined like 6 pairs of perfect good boots already. Maybe we could just convert the welfare department into janitors? What use is welfare here anyway? I don't know. It used to try to ensure that no one was dying, but Angela overrode that rather quickly. We can talk with like the St. Nelly and see if he wants to have a mop instead of a rapier, and if he'd be willing to get some of that work done. It looks like I like to stay home, and me are going to get the Snow Queen's kiss today. I also think from now on, I'm going to limit myself to just one of those gifts one interaction to get the kiss on 2 people per day. Thanks to the bug, which is just so aggravating with the Snow Queen. I can't tell what the game wants. I can't tell what... The game does not seem to know what's going on with the Snow Queen's containment unit when we rescue a second pair of people from it. Or rather, I'm sorry, we rescue the second person from being trapped therein. Alright, me, in I go. As much as I want to watch that, I do have other abnormalities which will possibly break out, so we need to work with Fragment of the Universe. Teresa needs someone to go in there and listen to it for a few seconds so we don't lose more energy. We could ignore Teresa and just suffer like a, what is it going to be? 20 PE box penalty? Or 20, 25? But nah. I've been pretty good at preventing people from going insane with it. Someone needs to read the research notes. So who's going to do that? Jay's is going to do it. Combo Breaker, you're going to help Knight of Despair, or help yourself with attachment work. We're not sending anyone in to work with the Tinned Woodsman because its Quploth counter is at 0 already. We should, yep, absolutely do more work with this abnormality so we get its damage type and Quploth counter information. It does white, that's right, it does black damage. Yeah, Jason can work with it. He's got a bunch of other gifts that increase his chance to successfully work with the abnormality. That is so adorable. Again, I will never, ever get tired of watching that occur, ever. I will watch that every time it happens. They did such a great job animating the faces and reactions of the people here in this game. Alright, well, that's all the comments I got from the last video, so now I guess I'll just have to focus on what I'm doing in this game. I feel so bad that I have people running around this apartment who are level 4 or 5, but they're wielding like Teth weaponry. Like that Void Dream ranged weapon is a short range weapon, and it does 1 or 2, I think it's 1 or 2 white damage. That's so awful. But my other choices are giving them a close melee range Teth weapon, and I don't want to do that either. We really need Gabor's quest completed so we can get more high-level weaponry and armor on other people. Let's see what it's called. Giant Mushroom Chunk. I wasn't expecting that as a name for it, but there it is. 354 black damage. The bad work result is 1/3 failures, which is pretty decent. Has an okay hand gift. 2 work speed, 2 success rate, and +5 sanity points. It's an upgrade to the fairy. I don't like seeing the increased black damage on the suit, though. That won't help us against censored at all. So whoever's going to get that armor, we just have to be really careful where we assign them to work with what abnormality. but it looked like we could get 3 of them, which is acceptable. We can I mean, we have some HE armor right now, right, that we take increased black damage with, but I can't remember. Strawman. So it's a upgrade to Strawman's armor. It's less increase of black damage, so we'll be swapping out probably Strawman's for the mushroom armor instead. Fungal armor? Oh, guess what? We need more spider bud PE boxes, so in you go, Mr. Stooltons. I need to get 300 more of them now to make up for what we lost. We don't really need them. Spider buds, weapons, and armor do not cost that much, but I like seeing 999 on all my abnormalities if we can get them that high. Though I will need to do a lot more work with open candle well cheers if I want to get that number up high. We only have half the PE boxes there. But again, I'm not really interested in Canna Welchers any longer. We don't need the sanity or fortitude increase, and it's a lower chance the higher your virtue levels are, so I don't want to risk whatever the negative effect is for that containment unit. That abnormality, sorry. Work with censored is going okay. We should keep you alive, though. Eldsloft, let's heal you completely. Wow, and 3 more failures in a row. That would have killed, I think, Eldsloft had I not healed him. So good for me, keeping him alive. Let's recover your sanity. You might as well heal Eldsloft as well. You know, I keep meaning to install a mod that I think fixes the hit point and sanity point bullets. So I'll... Actually, maybe I did already install it. Actually, I think I did install it. Maybe I didn't. I'll have to check my mods the next time I play the game. I'm surprised I'm doing work with my Zions. I guess I'm just desperate for some gifts. Mylin Chan needs more prudence. Yep, just he's going to work with Redouble of the Slay. Ooh, we have all these abnormalities being angry. Tira's, yep, needs to do some work because she worked with the big mushroom chunk. So she'll work with the fly shoots. Someone needs to work with King of Greed. And oh, David C already has the notes on him. So I'm like, oh, David C, did I take the notes and do work with you with her earlier? I don't remember. But then I noticed that it's only 3 negative boxes. David C has greatly increased defense against red damage, so he'll probably survive if I send him in there again with the research notes. So we're going to do that. Cloud Monk needs some work. Let's have you do it, Helmet Hair. His Kupolov counter is still 3, so that's fantastic. Tillman, yep, we need Teresa to listen to again. Snow Queen seems to be someone to go in there. Let's have maybe Master Survival. Nope, we're gonna have... Oh yes, Master Survival will go in there to improve her prudence, that one last point she needs. And Eldsloft, we can send you in to finally get some work done with Funeral without getting him angry. And Robert Baron can do some insight work with the mushroom chunk. Okay, and I think what I'm doing right there is I don't remember... I don't remember what works I've done. And since I don't remember, that means I need to do insight work. Because if I send someone to do repression, I've already done repression 2 times, we get someone charmed who will walk in there, and I don't want that to happen. Good for you, Tim, getting Tillman out of Teresa. There's no reason to put Lewis Scarf into censored quite yet. Get more work done. Maybe we can get some glasses for Mr. Stooltons. Still have not gotten the fairy crystal with you in water. We'll try again. Trimus did not gain the Crown of Thorns. Fremen, keep improving your stats to level 5. Yeah, pretty manageable, although we're not doing so well with Night of Despair at the moment. Oh, maybe it was Repression I sent someone in there to work with? And Leia, let's return those researcher notes before I forget to do that again. Remember, everyone, we're trying to get to a Dusk Ordeal. So we can get more practice in with whatever Dusk Ordeals show up. I'm not sure where I want Robber Baron now. I guess she could maybe do work with the King of Greed. Her armor's not the best, so she'll take full damage, but with the research notes, she probably will be okay. Yep, we should absolutely do more work with Censored. There's never a reason not to do that. I didn't like seeing that 69% chance with Fortitude. So we'll do more Prudence work instead. Who's going to do work with the Mushroom Chunk? I'm still, I think, confused about Destruction 42K. Your armor, I know, takes increased white damage. Come on. Yeah, send him in, Tim. Send him in. Yep. Okay, there we go. What the heck? What are you doing? You did just do insight work. But if I forget, we're gonna have to send people to do insight work again. I'd rather just get the PE box. Oh, yep. Let's look at the escape information. 2 for its Quilpaloth counter, and it has a white spear weapon, which looks like it's an upgrade to our icicles in every way imaginable. It's more damage, same range, same speed as well, and it's a WoW weapon, so that's nice. We have a direct upgrade for 3 folks, as we can get 3 of those spears. There's probably also another effect of some sort that it has, and maybe even another special attack, so we'll watch what the weapon does when we finally are able to construct them. Yeah, no reason why we can't increase your justice stat a little bit more, JZ. Sorry, ZJed. ZJed. We have like maybe 3 more people who can walk in to containment units, and I should be paying attention to who's in what containment unit, because I'll need to pay. I don't want anyone to have any overloads. Okay, we're working with Censored at the moment, so we have to wait until we're done with that before we trigger the next meltdown level, or a Quilpaloth level, whatever it's called. Hazard level. Yeah, let's have you walk in there. Like to stay home. Get more insight work done. Try to level that Prudence up to rank 5. We could have Eldsloft walk into Funeral, Tim. Or you know, or I don't have to do that. That's fine too. You know, who cares really about being effective, efficient with your abnormalities with people who can benefit from the stats. You know, you don't have to do that, I guess. I want more PE box with Spiderbud since we lost so many. Go ahead, Tim. Send him in to work with it. No one's working with any wows or alpha abnormalities, so you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Never mind. We'll try to get that pipe again for you, Alexander, with their fly shoots. And the containment unit went on a meltdown, so we'll have to deal with that as well. Tyler Monk's angry. No problem. Not angry. I'm sorry. His thing's on has an alarm. We'll deal with it. Robber Baron. Yep. We'll have you use the researcher notes. And then you can do some work with King of Greed, is my thought. Oh! I did not even notice the name change So, this is not Giant Mushroom Trunk. This thing's called the Little Prince, which we discovered after we unlocked all of its information. Interesting name for it. I wonder what its lore says about it. ZJ, what are we doing with you? I don't know why I'm doing that. Someone should hang out by... Oh, I guess we could send Alexander right back into the fly shoots when we're done with it the first time. Get some hit points for Strathus Culto. Panji, more hit points for you with Dreaming Current. Yep. Level 3 Fortitude Dreaming Current, I think, is the highest chance. Is that right, Chart? I think it is. 60% chance. I don't want to miss what I do here, so, Oh, and we have another Red Dusk. Okay, so we'll get some more practice against the clowns. When they show up, Censored is getting angry, Tim. Or rather, Censored will break out if you don't pay attention to his Kupaloth counter, so get someone in there. Fragment can escape. Yep, someone's got to go in there. Snow Queen, we don't want to lose her unique boxes. We don't want to lose the energy. CJ, what are we doing with you? Letitia? Sure. We'll do Letitia work. You still have King of Greed to arguably do, Tim. Let's send Barbarian into 74%. Ooh, 79% attachment. That'll be good. Tim said, without remembering that Robber Baron had talked or worked with Crumbling Armor some, like, 13 episodes ago. And right now, I realize what happened. Yeah, I'm going to go over here and circle Crumbling Armor. And I'm pretty sure, given how easy this day was, there's no reason for me to lose Robber Baron. So now the question is, do we proceed to the next day, keep all the information that we gained, and then reset the memory repository to get her back? Or do we retry the day and we kill a bunch of people in unique ways to see what the effects are of some of the things I haven't seen? Because this wasn't a hard day, and we know everything there is to know now about the Little Prince. We're gonna retry the day. So, before we do that, though, let's do a few things that we haven't ever done before. The first thing we're gonna do is I want to do 3 things. I want to see the fairies eat somebody. I want to see the portrait of another world melt someone. And I want to watch what happens when the research notes kill someone. So that's going to be what we watch. I should have used the rabbit team to see what happens with them. But again, guys, I'm so sorry. I never noticed that giant button there. So we're not going to do that. And the reason for this is because, well, quite frankly, I want this to be an entertaining Let's Play. So let's see what happens when we kill people. Oh! Well, he just immediately detonated himself. He probably did a bunch of damage to anything in that room, and I should have put someone in that room to see how much damage he did. Now, this is going to be a really great thing, by the way that I'm doing this with the fairies, because I thought the way the fairies worked was that when you walk into a containment unit, the fairies will eat the person then. I did not realize that, and you're going to see me go and look at the fairy containment unit after I do it, that it's on assignment to a containment unit that the fairies eat the person. So I am really glad that I did this here. Like, I noticed Windwater has got the fairies. I'm sending over here to work with that, and the fairies immediately vanish. And I'm like, well, what? Like, how possible is it that the fairies will eat you then? Because they vanish, like... How did we lose, Jeanette a long time ago? No one was there to work with Scarecrow. Oh, I gotta use the bathroom really badly, but we have another minute and a half till we're done. So we're gonna watch this and we can tough it. Like, good job with Scarecrow. Oodaloop, you can go ahead and... Yep. Oh, you know what? I should have seen what the Heart of Aspiration also did. And we're gonna watch what happens to Louis Scarf. Yep, I want to watch him melt. I've been told that he melts horrifically. Wow, that is horrible. What happens? Aren't you guys glad I'm doing this? Windwater? Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna watch him to make sure I get him assigned to, I guess Spider-Bud's no, Spider-Bud's not the closest. It's gotta be Wunson's is what's going through my head right now. Stop. All right, let's get you assigned. Yep. To that, and we'll watch what happens to you. Wow. They eat his eyes out and his heart and stomach. I'm like, what happened? And sure enough, it's when they're assigned to a different containment unit. I never noticed that. And with that said, everyone, that's it for the workday. We're going to retry, and I'll be back to do that. Oh, that sucked. There's no reason why we can't get through this day without losing somebody, so we'll just retry. So, man, Rubber died upon walking in there. The first thing that went through my head was, oh god, did she take a lot of damage from having the notes here? But there's like, no, she hasn't done any work since she picked up those notes. Is it a bug? And then I remembered, oh, Robber Baron's what would kill her instantly upon walking into a room? Crumbling armor's buff. I forgot she had it and was part of the safety team. That sucked. I don't want to lose Robber Baron to that. There's no reason why we have to. So we'll just redo day 36 again. So, interestingly enough, I didn't guess correctly as to what was the best work to do. But I guessed correctly as to what was the safest work to do with this abnormality. It wouldn't have mattered, because the moment that I unlocked the first managerial guidelines, I would have immediately been like, oh, okay, well, the very next thing we do is insight work, no matter what we did originally. Everything works well with this, the higher ranked you are in it. So I like this abnormality. The armor it's the mushroom chunk. That's an interesting name to it. I didn't see if the name changed after we got all the escape information as well, because I've noticed that occur once or twice. We'll take a look again. But the mushroom trunk is pretty decent. I like the weapon. That will definitely be a nice upgrade, assuming there's no no bad effect while the wielder's using the spear. I do like that there's 3 of this weapon available and 3 of the armor available. The armor is not the best. Wow. It reminds me a little bit of Clouded Monks because it's weak against black damage. Cloud Monk is weak against white. I'm like, oh man, I wish that wasn't the case, but it's decent enough, so we can use it. We just have to make sure that it'll probably be given to people who are working with high-level abnormalities who do red or white damage, is it. So, we'll get it on a few people, and we'll just redo this day. And I guess I can do it on screen. It'll give me a chance to talk to you guys again about some of this stuff. What do you guys think about me trying to fail, by the way? I was like, hey, let's just fail a bunch of stuff. Let's see what happens with this thing when people die. And so we watched when David C. detonated himself, thanks to having the research notes. I still think we should hire someone whose sole purpose it is to sacrifice themselves by doing that at some point if we need that damage. I think it's a lot. I should have kept one or two people in that hallway to see how much damage it actually does, because all we saw was him detonate. We didn't see how much damage he inflicts to himself. What else was there that we did? We watched the painting consume someone. Holy crap, what a miserable way to die. Oh, wow. And oh my god, the fairies. I never realized it was when you assigned someone to work after working with the fairies. I thought it was when they entered the containment unit. So, they're an insta-death, Letitia, in a way, right? Because Letitia, when she gives you her gift, when you assign that person to work, they have to actually walk there as opposed to it instantly breaking out. That makes fairies a little more dangerous to Letitia. They both at least have a graphic to let you know that there's an effect going on. I guess Letitia's is permanent as well for the rest of the day, while the fairies will leave you alone after a few seconds. I was trying to say, I was like, how do I rush Bruno over there to One-Sins quick enough that he can get the fairy buff and still be killed by them? And now I know. All I have to do is just assign someone to that work. So, the next episode, everyone, is just going to be us just rushing in immediately to start the day. And we're not going to have any summary, by the way. We're not going to have any, well, we will have a small introduction, but then we'll just get through the day. We'll probably fight the dusk, and then we can read about these abnormalities in that next episode. So thank you guys for watching this. Shame we lost Robert Baron, but it was entertaining to see how people died. And, yeah, that'll do. I think so in the future now, when we lose someone stupidly, and I'm like, we're just going to retry the day, then we will try to let out another WoW and practice against it. One that we haven't let out yet. So, it's going to be tricky to do it. Let's see. It's going to be really tricky to get Dreaming Current out, because it only gets out when someone panics, or Temperance 1. So this is going to be really almost impossible. Unless I send someone in there over and over and over again who has low sanity in order to break it out. We could, though, get, like, Knight That's Saying killed and see what the Knight as a Spare is like. So we might try that. That'll be easy. And we also have the new thing to let out as well. So, alright, well, that'll be the future. I'm Babbling. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.